Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jai Mudire Srimvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanam Ridyantastu Abhadrani Vidunoti Surisata. Okay, Hare Krishna. So today we are going to discuss from the third canto, 15th chapter, and the verse for discussion will be text number 49. So I'm going to share my screen, 3:15, 49, and this will be the last verse we are going to discuss from this chapter. We'll start with the Sanskrit. Kamam bhava svavrijane nirayeshu nastat cheto livadyati nute padayorameta vachascha vadyati tengri shobha puryetate gunaganer yadi karnarandra kamam bhavasa Kamam bhava svavrijane nirayeshu nastaj cheto livadyati nute padayorameta vachascha nastulasi vadyati tengri shobha puryete gunaganer yadi karnarandhra. Okay, who would like to chant? So, Madhav.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Kamam bhavasvavrijane nirayeshu nastat
Kamam bhava savrijanirnirayeshu nastach.
cheto livadyati nute padayorameta
Cheto livad yadinute padayorameta.
vachascha nastulasi vadyati tengri shobha
Vachascha nastulasi vad yadite nrigi shobha.
puryete gunaganer yadi karnarandhra.
Puryetate gunaganir karnarandra. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Anyone else would like to chant?
I can try to.
Good.
Kamam bhavasva vrijnaiर्निरयेषु नश्चाच् चेतो लिवद् यदि नुते पदयोरमेता वाचश्च नस्तुलसीवद् यदि तेऽङ्घ्रिशोभाः पूर्येत ते गुणगुणैर्यदि कर्णरन्ध्राः. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna. One more person would like to chant?
I can try, Prabhuji.
Yes, ma'am.
कामं भवसव्रजिनेरिनिरेषु नस्ता चेतोलिवद्धिनुते पदयोरमेत वाचश्च नस्तुल्सि विदति तेऽग्रीशोभा पूर्येते गुणगणिरिति कर्णरन्ध्रा.
Thank you. Okay, so let's discuss. We are discussing that pastime of the four Kumaras and Jay and Vijay. And last class we actually discussed that how the four Kumaras they crossed the 6 gates of Vaikuntha and they reached the 7th gate. And when they crossed the 6th gate, no one obstructed them. But all of a sudden, when they reached the 7th gate, they saw these two personalities, and and it appeared that these two personalities first stopped them, and four Kumaras they got angry seeing that they have been stopped, and the four Kumaras actually make the point to Jay and Vijay. They actually say that, like almost saying that, are you imposters here? Basically making the point that, like who could be like an enemy who would actually be entering into Vaikuntha. So the point, like Jay and Vijay from their side, they were thinking, oh, these are the four young boys, and they were so naked, and so they were thinking, like, are they qualified to actually enter into Vaikuntha? And on the other hand, the Jay and Vijay are thinking, the four Kumaras are thinking that, who are these personalities? How do they stop us? If that personality is just seeing that because we are small boys and because we are naked, and hence they are thinking that we are not qualified, then that person is seeing just from the external point of view. And that kind of vision where there's a duality between the person and his consciousness, like, in this material world, when you see a person and immediately we kind of create that, oh, maybe this person is like this. But maybe we talk to him and know him and like, oh, no, my first impression was wrong, right? All that duality happens here in this material world. In the spiritual world, there is no question of like that kind of duality. So the four Kumaras are actually thinking that this Jay and Vijay, are they imposters? They are stopping us just because of how we look. That is a mentality meant for the material world. And hence they actually curse them that you go down because you must be imposters, and therefore you are thinking that we are not qualified. Therefore you should go down to the material world. Right? The apt punishment for you is that you are seeing duality, therefore go to the material world where there are the three kinds of enemies. What is that? Lust, anger, and greed. Right? So these are three enemies. The entire material world is filled with. The driving force is lust. Right? And when lust is not satisfied, there's more greed to get something bigger, and then when that is frustrated, there's anger. So these three things, right? Kama, Lobha, and Krodha. So these three things are actually the enemies of this material world. And the four Kumaras make the point that because you are having this kind of dual vision filled with duality, hence you are fit to enter that material world where these three enemies are present. Right? Now, as soon as the four Jay and Vijay heard this curse, then immediately, because they are actually devotees of the Lord, and when they heard that they are cursed to enter into the material world, then immediately they actually felt that, oh, maybe we made a mistake. And they became repentant. And in that repentant mood, they fell at the feet of the four Kumaras. And then they said like, they fell at the feet of the four Kumaras. And then they actually said that, oh, in that repentant mood, that they said like, okay, you are the four Kumaras. So what you have punished us, okay, like, we are not asking you to take away the curse, knowing that the words of the Brahmana cannot be untrue. They said, at least we pray that even though we enter the material world, we never fall into illusion. We never forget, never forget the Lord. Right? And it's interesting when the four Jay and Vijay come as the demons, they are always constantly remembering the Lord. But that remembrance was in a negative way as an enemy, but they were constantly remembering the Lord. And that point was there. So, so this happened, and then the Lord, understanding everything that's happening at the gate, he immediately came out, and we discussed this point last time, that how the Lord actually came out shows how much the Lord loves his own devotees, Jay and Vijay. Right? So when the Lord came, he actually came running on barefoot. He didn't even have time, like, when like a mother sees a child and the child is getting hurt, or someone is saying something negative, wherever she is, she'll immediately get up and just run to a child, not caring whether it's like, whether she has bad shoes or like, this it's like sharp stones. She won't care. She'll just run without considering. And that kind of love the Lord had for Jay and Vijay. Just that immediate, he left and then he ran towards, and he didn't even like, think that, oh, I'll sit on Garuda and go on that. He said like, no, it's too urgent right now. I have to go there. So the Lord actually appears on the scene, and then it's described that how the four Kumaras saw this form of the Lord, and Bhagavatam actually describes the beautiful form of the Lord. When the four Kumaras saw this form of the Lord, then they actually, up to this point, is said that they were attached to Brahman. The Brahman realized at this point, but they did not have that attachment to the personal form of the Lord. But when they saw this personal form of the Lord, and the verse we discussed last time was the 43, where it says, Tasyaravinda Nayana Padaravinda Kinjalka Mishra Tulasi Makaranda Vayu. So it says that Kinjalka Tuls Mishra Tulasi. So the fragrance from the lotus feet of the Lord with the fragrance of Tulsi mixed with the fragrance of Tulsi, when that fragrance entered into the nostrils of Jay and Vijay, then they experienced a feeling that they had never experienced before. So one point is Brahman realized is a state of, one way equipoise. One is actually no na sochati na kankshati, right? There's no more lamentation, no more hankering. He's just happy at the state, but there is no, kind of what do you say, like attachment to a personal form or like that emotional exchange. It's just like stage of neutrality where it's just like only happiness, right? Only Brahmanda, we say, that kind of happiness is there. So from that point, they experience a happiness that they had never experienced before. And our Acharya, particularly Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he makes a point and he says that when the fragrance actually entered into the nostrils of the Lord, first it actually conquered the mind of Jay and Vijay, right? And then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur so nicely explains that he says, like, when a person is entering into another country and he wants to conquer the other country, first he kills the leader. And for us, of all the senses, the mind is the chief of all senses. So he actually first conquered the mind, and then when the mind actually became agitated with that kind of bliss, seeing that with the fragrance it became agitated, then after the senses, the eyes, tears started flowing from their eyes, their hair started standing on end, and there was perspiration all over their body out of that kind of happiness. And the point is, like, the beautiful form of the Lord, they couldn't, like, they wanted to absorb every beauty of every aspect of the Lord, but they just couldn't absorb because they were limited in their vision. But they saw the lotus feet of the Lord, they're like, oh, so beautiful. And then they said, okay, let's look a little bit higher. And they looked at, let's say, the thighs of the Lord, and it's like, oh, so beautiful. And then they were not satisfied and they wanted to look at the feet again, but they were like, oh, the waist so beautiful. And then the chest of the Lord so beautiful, the arms of the Lord so beautiful. And then the smiling face, oh, so beautiful. And then, oh, but the feet so beautiful. And they were not getting enough of the beauty of the Lord, and they were just trying to drink as much as they could, but they were like limited in their ability to drink the form of the Lord. Right? And because of that, the whole experience was like they immediately became attached to the personal form of the Lord. And it's like, wow, this form, personal form of the Lord, is the highest. It is even beyond that of Brahman realization. Right? So in that way, they actually looked at the feet, and then they scanned the body and looked at the face. Then again, they looked at the feet. They were like irresistibly pulled to see different different angas of the Lord. So this is actually a description of like how beautiful the Lord is, right? One of the opulences of the Lord, Bhagavan Krishna, we say, is Sad Aishwarya Purna, right? Bhagavan, he's full with 6 kinds of opulence, and one of that is beauty, right? He's complete, so beautiful. And here is an experience of the beauty. You see the form of the Lord, and if you are really purified, then how will that darshan be? That darshan will be like so overwhelming that it's like you see and you're like, oh, I want to see more, I want to see more. Oh, but I want to see the face more. Oh, I want to see the leg more. I want to see the... That's the experience. Like, and in that kind of ananda, that is the real ananda that the soul is actually looking for. That kind of bliss. So that was the experience. And then after that, it is described that the 4 Kumaras, they actually start speaking to the Lord, and they were thinking what? Oh, these Jai and Vijay, they are, because when Jay and Vijay, fell at their feet and begged for forgiveness, then the 4 Kumaras also realized that, oh, we made a mistake cursing them. So both from the side of 4 Kumaras and from the side of Jay and Vijay, both of them had that repentant mood and a mood of humility. And this is the point that, that we say, when humility arises in the core of our heart, that attracts the attention of the Lord. That attracts the Lord. So it is not how much we know in terms of Shastra or how many projects we have done or how much seva we have done. Finally, it comes to a point of what the daimya, the humility in the core of that. And the more, as we progress in bhakti, naturally the more insignificant, the more humble, the more humility arises in the core of the heart. And that humility attracts the Lord. Right? So, that's why, like, in our ISKCON society, we glorify menial service. Because when we actually come and do some menial service in temple, it could be like picking up the trash or like washing the dishes or like, any of that. When you do some menial service, like cleaning the floor of the temple, when we do that, what happens? That the false ego, that is getting crushed, and that humility is arising, that, oh, in front of that all glorious Lord, the Lord is infinitely glorious. In front of him, what is my position? I am so insignificant. So when that purity of that relationship comes, then the Lord is attracted to that. So from both sides, four Kumaras and Jain Vijay, the humility, the repentant mood actually appear, and the Lord actually, and that attracted the Lord to the scene, right? So now the four Kumaras, they actually speak to Jain Vijay. Today the verse, what we read is one of the verses that they actually speak to the Lord. Now the four Kumaras are feeling repentant that we made a mistake, and they were actually thinking that, oh, maybe the Lord is not happy with us. Why? Because we curse his dear servants, Jay and Vijay. So maybe the Lord is angry with us. That's what they're thinking. But when they saw the smiling face of the Lord, they were like, at least they felt relieved that, okay, maybe the Lord is not angry. But still, in their speech, they actually wanted to, kind of express, that the mood of like seeing the Lord. So they actually say that, that how it is so difficult to see your form, right? You're not manifested to, those who are sinful at heart. You're not manifested to them. Those who are duratma, the word is used like, and dur means negative, atma is a self. So those who are like polluted, whose consciousness is not pure, the Lord is not manifested to them. But we are seeing you face to face. So Fokumar is saying, we are so fortunate that we are seeing that even though you are unlimited, you have actually manifested in front of us, face to face. Right? And also, like, Prabhupada and Acharyas explain the point that actually Brahma and Narad Muni is one way, the brother of the four Kumaras. So Brahma and Narad Muni had prayed that the four Kumaras be blessed with bhakti. And this theme is that again and again in the Shastra, that how do we get bhakti? Only when a bhakta prays for us. When he actually prays for us and we serve a devotee of the Lord, then his devotion from his heart gets transferred to our heart, right? So again, here also the point is stressed, like, okay, how did the four Kumaras get bhakti? Well, Brahmaji himself and Narad Muni himself prayed for the four Kumaras that they can actually be blessed with devotional service. So this is what is the result here, right? And then further they make the point that this form of the Lord can only be understood by the mercy of the Lord. So particular word uses anutapa. Anutapa means mercy. Viditaya, understood. Drida bhakti yoga. Only through devotional service, unflinching devotional service, can the Lord actually be seen. Right? And this is a whole theme of the Bhagavad Gita also. Bhagavad Gita also, towards the end, 18th chapter, Krishna says, Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Right? 11th chapter, when Krishna shows his universal form and then shows the four-handed form and then finally two-handed, he says this form is very rare to see. And only through bhakti can one actually see this form of the Lord. Right? So only through, so even the four Kumaras are confirming the same point that Bhagavad Gita reveals, that it's only through devotional service which attracts the mercy of the Lord can one actually see the Lord face to face. Right? Now, and then further he make the point that persons who are very expert and most intelligent in understanding things, those who are really, the Sanskrit is actually used as Kushalaha, those who are Kushalaha and Rasagya, those who are knowers of Rasa or Shastra, Shastras and the mellows of the Shastras, and Kushalaha, very expert. What do? They always Bhavatayah Kathayah Kirtanaya. So they actually are always doing kirtan. They are glorifying your quality. So those who are expert, most intelligent, what do? They always glorify your qualities, which are always worth chanting and hearing. Right? And those personalities, those who are getting the bliss or in always glorifying you, they don't even care for liberation. Right? Liberation is just a byproduct. And this is today's verse where okay, so in the previous verse he actually said, like, even liberation, we don't care. Those personalities, they're getting so much bliss in glorifying you that they are willing to take birth after birth. And that is Mahaprabhu actually makes the prayer, Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavatad Bhaktir Ahetuki. He's saying, Mama Janmani, even I have to take Janma after Janma. My only desire is Bhavatad Bhaktir Ahetuki Bhakti. I want that unflinching devotion to you. Right? So even which a moksha, which is considered out of the four dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, which is the four purusharthas of the Vedas, moksha is considered the best of the four. Why? Because moksha goes even beyond death. Other three, at the time of death, they are all finished. Right? So moksha is better than but even moksha is derided by those who are devotees because they don't care. Because in moksha also there's some personal that, okay, I want to get free from troubles. But in bhakti, only Krishna, whatever you want, I'm willing to do that. You want me to take birth again and again? Yes, I will take. But please, I want to be a devotee. I want to associate with devotees. That's my only condition, right? And then today's verse, he says, Kamam bhavaha. So if you see the screen, it says Kama. As much as deserved, bhavaha, but swavrijanehi, by our own sinful activities. Because they were thinking that now we curse Jai and Vijay, we have done something really wrong, something displeasing to the Lord. And it is true, because we'll see in the next chapter that how the four Kumaras, they get, they are now beyond that Brahman realize they are actually getting a kind of rasa with the Lord, but the only rasa that they get is Shanta. And we'll discuss this more in the next class just to explain it further in more detail so it's clear. But they cannot go higher. Why? Because they made offense to devotees. Right? So that Vaishnava Prana, maybe we'll discuss that next time. But continuing to this verse, Kamam Bhava Haswade. So we feel that we have made an offense to your dear servants. Swavrijinahi. Right? So therefore, because of this offense, whatever birth we deserve, Narayeshu means lower birth. Even if you are born in hellish condition, that is fine. We accept it. But our request, our humble request to you is Chetaha. Chetaha means our mind. And then it says Alivat. Alivat is just like bees. Right? What is like Ali, like bees. So let our mind be like bees. Bees, they are always going from one flower to another. And what are they looking for? The honey, the essence. Right? They'll go from one flower to another, they'll just suck the honey. Right? So similarly, they are saying, let our mind become like those bees. And do what? Padayoho, from your lotus feet. Let us engage, let us taste, let us be engaged in the service of your lotus feet, or let us get the taste, because they already experience the fragrance coming from the lotus feet. So now they are saying, let our minds always be absorbed in your lotus feet. Right? That's the first thing they ask. Second, they say, Ramate Vacha. Vacha means our words. So let our words, what should our words do? Let them always be engaged in, it says Tulasivat. So initially it was Alivat, and then the next word, third line, we see Tulasivat. Just like Tulasi leaves, right, which are always attached to your lotus feet, let our words always glorify your lotus feet. Right? Just as tulsi leaves are beautified when offered to your lotus feet, so let our words be made beautiful by speaking about your glory, just as tulsi is beautified when offered unto your lotus feet. And then the third one is, they say, Angri Shobha. So basically, Angri is lotus feet, Shobha beautified, and Puriyeta. Puriyeta means fill. Guna Gane Yadi Karna Randra. Karna means ears, Randra means holes, and let our ear holes be always filled with the chanting of your transcendental qualities. Guna, Gun means qualities of the Lord. Ganer means like the songs or the words glorifying your guna, your qualities, right? So three things they request, right? One to do with their mind, right? One to do with their mind, one to do with their words, and the third to do with their ears. Right? So ears, mind, and words. Right? So with the mind, they just want to be just like bees, always absorbed in flowers. Similarly, let our mind always absorb in your lotus feet with our words. Let our words be beautified by always glorifying you, and let our ears always fill with the songs glorifying you. Right. So even if you go to lower birth, that's fine. We accept it, but please fulfill these conditions. So basically, they are asking for Krishna consciousness. They're saying, let thy mind always be absorbing you, mouth always speak of your glories, ear always hear about your glories. This is Krishna consciousness. They're saying, wherever we are, let us always be engaged in Krishna consciousness. Okay, so this is their prayer, and then this prayer actually, Prabhupada makes a point. This actually shows their mood of humility. Because now they are saying, they are not saying that, oh, we are Brahmanas, your servant Jai and Vijay made a mistake by stopping us, we are so qualified. No, they are saying, no, we made a mistake, and hence we deserve to be punished. That is their humility, right? That humility. So they are offering their humility by saying, okay, we'll go to hell. We made a mistake, we'll go to hell. But please, let us never be separated from you, right? So that is their prayer to the Lord. Okay, so I'll stop here. Prabhupada in Purport, he says, a devotee is not afraid of going to hell if he has the opportunity to hear the glories of the Lord constantly. This is advantage of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. One may put in any condition, but God gives him the prerogative to chant Hare Krishna. In any condition of life, if he goes on chanting, he will never be unhappy. This is the end of the purport. Right? Any condition of life, one goes on chanting, never be unhappy. Okay, so we'll stop here. We'll continue with a verse from the next chapter. Now, 4 Kumara has spoken. How does the Lord respond to that? That we'll see tomorrow. Okay, so thank you all so much. So, are there any quick questions before we end? Yes, Deepika.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, just wanted to clarify one thing, that when the Lord appears in the scene, right, it is the 4 Kumaras who are all enchanted by, the lotus feet and, the appearance of the Lord, right? Not
Yes.
Jai Vijay.
Yeah, I mean, Jai Vijay are actually pure devotees, right? They are always attracted to the form. But right now, Bhagavatam is stressing on the 4 Kumaras. Why? Because they were Brahman realized, and just seeing the
Just
form of the Lord, they are promoted to attachment to the personal form of the Lord.
form of the Lord. Yes, just wanted to clarify that. Thank you,
Yes.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, any other questions? Okay, so thank you all so much. So we'll stop here. We'll continue with the verse from the chapter 16 tomorrow and continuing the story of what happens, how, and this is a nice meditation that tomorrow we can meditate on how will the Lord respond. Will he take the side of 4 Kumaras or Jai and Vijay? The 4 Kumaras are expressing such beautiful prayers. How is he going to respond? So that we'll discuss tomorrow. Thank you all so much for joining. And here, Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vanchakalpatarubhyasya, Kripa Sindhubhyo cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Thank you all so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank you so
Krishna.
much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhu. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yes. Shravani Mati, you have a question?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. In the last week class, you have mentioned that in the spiritual world, wife and husband will be there. So, what is the reason, Prabhu? We are going to the spiritual world for only for doing the service, right? So, what is the necessity of wife and husband relation in
Yeah,
spiritual world?
like, we talk of like Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, right? They have a relationship. They are husband and wife. So even here, like, the childhood pastimes of Krishna are there. Who are the parents? Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. But the point is, yes, they are in a relationship, but the focus of the relationship is Krishna. Both of them, husband and wife, their center is, okay, how together as husband and wife can we serve the Lord, can we glorify the Lord, and that's their whole focus. So it's not that there are no relationships. There are relationships. Like there are cowherd boys, there's brother, sister, like Radharani has a brother. So all these relationships are there, but the focus is Krishna, And it is actually these relationships which actually one way also, like, Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. Now, because that relationship is there, then they can express that vatsalya bhav, right, the parental love to Krishna, right? So it is all those relationships are also helping their love, to express their love, their service to Krishna, right? So it's all facilitating their service to Krishna. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhu. One more question, Prabhu. So in the Bhagavatam, I didn't remember the chapter, but it is mentioned that uh, Kamsa, Hiranyakashipu, all these after they die, they go to Vaikunta, but they can get down also, like they can fall down from Vaikunta also. I didn't remember exactly where I read in the first canto, but this is mentioned. So I didn't understand. So Vaikunta and Golokadam both are same.
So Vaikuntha and Goloka Dham, both of them are the spiritual world. The Goloka Vrindavan is the highest place in the spiritual world, right? So I know there's a very famous chart where it shows the spiritual world and the material world. But if you see, yes, Vaikuntha planets, yes, in Vaikuntha planets there are planets where Lord Narasimhadev is there, Varaha Dev is there, all these incarnations. But going higher and higher, the Ayodhya Dham, Dwarka Dham, then it goes even higher, whereas Mathura Dham and the highest is Goloka Vrindavan. So even in spiritual world, it is like different planetary systems, and the highest of that is Goloka Vrindavan. Now to your question, Jay and Vijay, like they were in Vaikuntha, how come they fell down? Actually, the falling of Jay and Vijay is not like, like how a conditioned soul may enter into the material world. Jay and Vijay, like their falling is also finally is the desire of the Lord, because the Lord wants to enjoy the mood of fighting. Even the Lord enjoys like fighting, that the rasa of fighting. And Prabhupada gives the example that sometimes a father may come to a child and say like, okay, let's fight, right? I mean, for sure the father can defeat the child, but the point is like just that fight, and there's some the heroic nature, some rasa is there, and the Lord also wants to fight. But who is qualified to fight with the Lord? And his own servants, Jay and Vijay, say, okay, we will take that role and we will serve you by fighting with you and give you that kind of place. So Jay and Vijay coming down is also a part of like a bigger pastime for the Lord to actually get a unique kind of pleasure through that fighting. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, thank you so much. So we'll end here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.